Give a round of applause.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Daniel, and I'm from Law Canvas. Law Canvas is a website that helps small businesses create legal documents quickly and easily. But before I start proper, I'd like to share with you a story about one of our users. So this guy's name is George, and George is starting an e-commerce shop. And one of the things that George has to do is to do up the terms of service. And this is a humongous pain in the ass. He can either go to a lawyer, which is super expensive, or he's going to end up burning his weekend cutting and pasting documents by himself. 9 times out of 10, he's going to end up doing this. And the problem with this is that he's going to waste a lot of time searching the internet for templates, analyzing them, cutting and pasting them himself. And all this is very frustrating and it's a huge waste of time. But we have come up with a solution that's going to take all of this headache away. And I'm going to show it to you in this video demo right now. So this is the document library of our Law Canvas app. And inside the library you can see things like founders agreements, shareholders agreements, non-disclosure agreements, independent contractors, and more. So we're going to do a demo of what it takes to create a non-disclosure agreement. Alright? It's going to take a moment. That's awesome. Okay? So it's full-time employees, and we're going to jump into a non-disclosure agreement right now. Okay? So within the app itself, the legal document template is drafted by locally qualified lawyers. Okay? But we have also added on software features that make it a lot easier to use, as well as understand. On the left side, you see things like input counters to tell you the number of outstanding fields left. On the right, you see plain English explanations of what the legal clauses mean, so that it simplifies things a lot for you. So we're going to jump right into this demo. 2 parties are going to do an NDA together. We're going to fill in some text, the details. The second party is going to enter their details. We're going to enter the purpose of their collaboration. And then we're going to edit the basic document template and add on some text. And then when you're finally done, the system auto-saves everything, and you can generate a very nicely formatted PDF. So after this is done, you sign, I sign, we're done. And this saves people like George a whole lot of time. So this is a pretty big, humongous problem in a very valuable market. And we believe that we can achieve 50 million share of market by reaching out to 100,000 businesses across the region who are each subscribing at $500 US a year. Now, this brings me to how exactly do we make money? We have 2 revenue streams, and the first of which is selling documents to these businesses. You can either go through a single use, or you can buy an annual subscription. Another use case is for enterprise deployment of our software. Certain corporates like our software so much because they're going to supply their own documents, and it's going to help them with their own staff to prevent errors and create documents a lot more efficiently. And the price point for this is significantly higher. So, what is our traction to date? We've been live for 6 months, and reaction from the market has been very positive. We started with about 160 users in May, and then we've grown to about more than 1,005 now. Most of these guys are all businesses, not individuals. Growth has come about very organically from word of mouth sharing. We switched on premium documents last week, and we're starting to do a small amount of sales, and that's very encouraging. At the same time, we have also closed our very first enterprise customer. So the competition for this space is very interesting. This is very well covered in Western markets like America as well as Australia. We've had some competitors who have been around for quite a long time and funded by very notable investors. But this part of the world, Asia, has not been touched at all. But the opportunity is becoming more and more obvious. People like Dragon Law in Hong Kong are starting to come up. And their products in pre-launch stage. So the time to take action is right now. The team to take this forward is made up of myself, my background's in finance and accounting, my partner's a technologist, and we have an advisor who's a lawyer who has started her own law firm. And we are looking to fundraise for US $300,000 to expand our legal documents database across the region, as well as staff up the development team for enterprise planning. So I just want to recap what I've been sharing with you guys about. So firstly, Law Canvas is a website to help businesses create documents quickly and easily. Secondly, we have demonstrated traction, very strong traction in a market that has very little innovation. And lastly, legal documents market in Asia is ripe for the taking. The time to take action is right now. Thank you guys for your consideration and I look forward to questions.
From the 1,005 users that you have now, how much revenue have you generated?
We started monetizing last week. We have created about 1,000 USD.
And
this is
what
from
is
a few
business
days.
model?
Our business model is for the legal documents play for the small businesses that is single use. So let's say you're only employing one employee, then you just buy one copy, right? But if you're the kind of company that employs a lot, then you will buy our annual subscription for unlimited documents. And this is like a SaaS business model, recurring revenue per year.
And when I have a problem with the document, how am I going to contact the lawyer behind it?
Right. So, okay, let me approach this from another level of abstraction. Basically, we are a software service that provides legal documents, not a law firm, right? So this is a platform for people to help themselves. We are providing document templates as a starting point for them to create something for their own company. If they need something that is more customized, we will always encourage them to approach a lawyer for a proper review.
So you don't have any lawyers who are advising or guiding you when you have that one-off specific what Wilson is asking?
So we work with a group of law firms that we have been sending cases out to, and this is a group of about 10 plus law firms with different expertise in different areas. And for today, since I think we've been operational since late last year, we've been getting a lot of requests that we've been sending out to all these law firms. So actually, one point of contention for the law firms is that they think that we are competing with them, right? Because we are operating at a lower price point. But in fact, we're actually creating new business from a new market because some of these guys convert into leads.
So Daniel, like I've looked at your site before and we've talked before, right? I thought one thing that was useful for the judges to know is maybe you tell them a bit about the different buckets of types of customers who are actually using it and a few of these customer stories, so to get the idea of
I see.
who the customers are.
Okay, cool. So there's three types of customers that I want to talk about. The first kind are, for example, the startups that you're only going to do a founders agreement once or a shareholders agreement once. There are guys that create documents once, and there are guys that create documents a lot of times. So some of these companies engage contractors a lot, or they hire part-timers a lot, and they end up using these documents over and over and over again, many times throughout the year. So it's very recurring usage. So this is why we came up with the annual SaaS plan, so to speak. And the third kind, which I almost left out, was the enterprise customer, which they love the software aspect of our business, and because it makes churning out documents a lot easier than before, and it helps their staff to prevent errors, which is a big deal to them. They don't want to lose their customers.
One of the things I'm just kind of reflecting on, how can you become like the number one player that is like defensible over time?
Okay.
Because I could start a similar website, I could offer a cheaper price, there's no switching costs for people. So I've been thinking, how can you build like a community that I said before? So for example, Genius, or formerly known Rap Genius, which annotates rap texts. So like fans can follow and kind of interpret like the lyrics. I think this would be very useful to have, people annotating, interpreting like the law, so it's easier for people to understand. Have you been thinking about, how can you create a defensible position, and could that maybe be an option of building a community around it?
I would say defensible position comes about from having content that is catered for multiple countries at the same time. So it will be very, very hard to overcome that. So as what you said, having user contributed inputs and contributions, so to speak, yes, that will be a very useful factor as well, because the platform itself becomes more valuable the more people use it.
If you don't have a defensible, I guess what he's asking is you don't have a defensible IP. The next guy can come if your business starts growing. Within 6 months, they're going to catch up with you, and if they are well funded, they'll overtake you.
Well, I would say that over and above, actually no. I think the thing that you're approaching this from is that legal templates are easily copyable, right? So the value from our product comes over and above legal document templates, because when you take the template alone, you look at it, it's confusing. And the part where our software comes in is that it makes that content a lot easier to use and understand. That's the value proposition that we're seeing.
So what would you do if I do this for free? Because I want to help founders when they start a new startup. I put everything for free on the internet. What will you do then?
You don't have to do it, it already exists. And okay, so the problem with that is that from the user's point of view, they're going to go onto the internet and they're going to search for example, like non-disclosure agreement. And they're going to find 50 different versions of non-disclosure agreements. They're going to burn 2 hours trying to figure out which one to use. But we provide a single authoritative source for them to approach whenever they need help.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All candidates for Singapore.